Morning, guys.
Morning.
What did we go over on Friday? No, it's a long time ago.
Safety acronym?
No. Went over the end of chapter 4, safety 24/7.
Is that yours?
We went over risk tolerance again. What else went with risk tolerance?
Shout out?
Anyone?
Consequences of taking risks, possibly.
That's not me.
Kind of?
And the different risks that each one of us give or take from another person.
Yep, yep. That was the piece on risk tolerance.
Why you like less money
You
for
know,
it?
what we do to actually stay safe, how we maintain that level of risk assessment for the most part, for each task. So, today we're gonna go over an incident that happened in Mankato last week. It was on a rear load truck. Don't know all the details, don't like to assume, but it's all that I can really come up with. The driver was going to lift a container with a cable. Somehow got his hand pinched in between the cable and the truck. So what are some ways that could happen? Some of the rear load drivers.
Too much slack.
Mike in there.
Running the lever the wrong way.
Oh, he's right beside me. Mike and Richard and Pat.
Running the lever the wrong way.
There's so many things that
Running the lever the wrong way.
can go wrong.
No, you don't
Could
get
have been in a hurry,
You don't need that.
you know, without knowing, does this control lever stick? You know, because if they stick and he didn't get it shut off, he put his hand in the wrong spot, I mean, that cable isn't stopping.
So what is the first thing that we need to make sure that we're doing when we do a risk assessment on a cam like that, when we're gonna use a cable? What do you look at on a cable?
Make sure you're not afraid, make sure it's not getting something else.
Okay. Yes.
You can't move it.
We can move, yeah. Making sure you're checking the trunnion bars and making sure that it's on a level surface, right? So, the only way I can think of that this gentleman got his hand stuck is if that cable was bound up with something else. So what do we have on the back of the truck if it isn't used properly that can be considered a hook? Or a snag point?
The little bar that help lift it up.
Yep, the trunnion bar lock, right? The track for that trunnion bar lock. So, this is my imagination with this. I'm not gonna assume, I'm gonna imagine. But the cable comes down, and if it runs to the side of the truck and then runs over at an angle to the back anchor point on the can, and if he puts tension on that, and it comes up and it hooks that track for the trunnion bar lock, then it causes a pinch point right here where his hand is. Does that make sense? You guys can kind of picture what I'm getting at, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and I haven't seen anybody's hand in it, but I've seen where, you know, it was slack and it didn't come up right,
Yeah,
and it will hook.
yeah. So, what do we do to combat that and make sure that doesn't happen?
First, be aware of what's going on. I would think you'd have plenty of time to move your hand once you realize that that's what's going on, but
Yeah.
That, make sure the cable is pushed in a position where it's not gonna hook.
Right.
I mean, you can see that the cable is gonna hook it even before you move
none of
it.
that stuff should happen that fast, or it should surprise
Yeah.
you if he was paying
Complacency.
attention.
Sounds like he was in a hurry too and wasn't paying.
Was it just regular truck?
Complacency, like this.
I don't know.
And we don't know if it's a newer employee. They have a lot of new
Yeah.
employees on Mankato.
Ain't got my bad,
So
though.
I think the odds are gonna dictate it isn't, but we didn't get a lot of detail, but, it was unfortunate. I mean, the critical was amputation.
Yeah, and we don't know what was amputated, if it was finger, if it was hand, or what it was.
Uses his left hand or his right hand?
Don't know.
That makes a difference.
But one of the things with that, another way to combat that is to make sure that we're using our trunnion bar lock, right? Actually putting that arm up and locking it into place, because if that's pinched down, that eliminates that hook right there. It might still hook on the latch for the trunnion bar lock, but if it hooks there, you should see that right away.
No, he should have been able to.
Should have been able to see it
He
anyway.
should have been able to see that too, though.
But-
So if he was gonna miss something that obvious, he'd have missed it either way.
But this goes with every line of business. This is unfortunate it happened with a rear load. But we need to make sure we check the containers and we check the whole surrounding when we go to actually dump the camp. Whether we're using a roll-off, whether you're using a front load, CD truck. What happens if the sleeves go off of a front load and that container actually falls down? It's the same scenario. It's just making sure that we're aware of what's going on. So what's the takeaway today?
Be aware of your surroundings, like a surface container.
Observe, you know, everything, you know?
Don't be complacent,
Don't be complacent.
You come up right about what I said.
he said.
Most of these accidents are because somebody's in a hurry and so they're not paying attention.
So slow down and make sure you know where
It
you're going.
doesn't, it's plain and simple, if you're already 45 minutes behind, you're not gonna make up the time. Because 10 to 1, you're gonna screw up and it's just gonna cost you more time, especially with a rear load. And I can't speak for any other truck,
Right.
but with a rear load, if you're in a hurry and trying to make up time, that's when you're gonna screw up and it's gonna cost you twice as much time just to fix what you just screwed up.
Because
Well,
what's
this-
your first priority? Like,
Safety.
that's right.
All right, on that, let's have a safe day.
Thank you. You gotta take care of yourself regardless of time.
I've done it too many times, being in a hurry and
Truck and a boat.